If you had to make a realistic guess as to how many fingers you've bitten in your life, how many fingers do you think you've bitten? I can hear you typing, so I'm sure you're looking it up in your diary.
I keep a spreadsheet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's it say?
This can't be right. It says 3 and they're all mine.
You have almost certainly bitten your little brother at some point.
We are the exception that proves the rule of fighting siblings. We did not really do that as children. And I think it has something to do with the fact that our age difference is just big enough to where I felt responsible for his care as opposed to being like a bully.
I'll ask you this question. For your little brother, or even maybe your son, have you ever sunk to doing to them what they're doing to you to see how they like it?
If you lust after a woman, you have already committed adultery in your heart. So in that sense, I have done that to my son.
You've lusted after your son? Oh, you've thought about it.
I've thought about doing to him every single thing he's done to me. I have thought about biting him. I've thought about pulling his hair. I have thought about punching his eyeball.
It's funny how simple we are that, of course, logically, you have to be the adult in the situation. But it's pretty tempting to just bite him right back.
And it is the first thing you think of.
I'm ashamed to admit sometimes I will resort to yelling. If she's yelling at me, then I'll yell at her too. And she won't like it. So here we are. And I don't think it really gets us anywhere. I don't think she's learning like, oh, my, how the turntables.
Do you think she's impressed by how loud you can get?
She's in a big pretend phase right now. So every day we have to be something. She's the casting director, right? I'm a police officer. You're a bad guy. I'm Ariel, you're the witch. And sometimes the roles get sort of like mixtaped together. So the other day she was in the bath. So she has an Ariel Little Mermaid doll in the bathtub. That's baby Ariel. I'm Miss Lauren Ariel. Miss Lauren is her speech therapist. So Miss Lauren Ariel, and you're Daddy Ariel. So I have to drive Ariel to her speech therapist, Miss Lauren Ariel, and then they do speech therapy together. And then she gets stickers, and I take Ariel home. But the other day she said, "I'm Belle. You're the Beast." And just committing to the role, I let out a big roar. And it was like that scene in Monsters, Inc. where Boo sees Sully be actually scary. And the look on her face is like terror. And I don't trust this person anymore. And I just was committing to the bit. She did not like it at all.
I wonder if the same thing would have happened if you had tossed her underwater in the previous imaginings. The lesson being you can't commit too much to the bit.
Yeah. And, like kids don't pretend fairly. It's always on their terms. There's no yes and Del Close improv rules going on.
No, it's not for the sake of the scene.
No. She doesn't serve the scene at all. If she's the bad guy and I'm the police officer and I catch her, she immediately goes, "No, I'm just Lola." And she'll wonder why I'm accosting her and sending her to pretend jail. She's like, "No, I'm just Lola." I'm like, all right, never mind.
Next time you arrest me, I'm going to go, "No, I'm just Daddy.
I'm just your father." She's learned our names. Has that happened to you yet? Does the boy know that you're Jerod?
We are there.
Yeah. She'll be asking me like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Well, you call me Dad." "No, you're Sonny." Like, "Yes, but you call me Dad." "No, you're Sonny."
Do you lay down ground rules for that at some point? How long do you let that go on if it's not just a 2-week endeavor.
Yeah, she's not insisting upon it. Like when she needs something, she's saying dad. It's just like a fun, like while we're riding around in the car, like it occurs to her, like, oh yeah, you've got this other name.
I was waiting for an appointment at the pediatrician not too long ago and heard Bluey on the television.
Mm-hmm. Love
and
Bluey.
One of them, I don't know if it was Bluey or Bingo, was making up a story about their mother, I think, and was saying, and that's when, oh, what's your not mommy name?
Bluey's a good show. Welcome to the Bluey Minute.
It hasn't fully taken root. If there's an episode happening, there will be a request for another episode, but it's never really the one that gets requested.
Your child has an impressive attention span for Super Friends, which is
40-minute episode.
The slowest, weirdest cartoon. And I remember sitting there watching him watch the show, and he's so attentive and rapt by it. And then I look at the TV screen, I'm like, this is what you like? Kid, this sucks.
Solomon Grundy want pants too.
Jerod, we made it to 91. I am ashamed to admit that we missed the opportunity last minute to mention that it was the golden birthday of the movie that came out in 1990, and it was the 90th minute. We just passed right over that coincidence. We didn't make the movie a cake. We didn't get it a gift. We didn't make a slideshow set to Good Riddance by Green Day. We didn't do anything.
Well, we can always wait for the bronze birthday. What is the golden birthday?
That's when you turn the age of like the date. So Lola just turned 4 on the 4th. So that was her golden birthday. I was matching it up to its year and the minute. It dawned on me later, after the fact, after we recorded, that maybe that's a matchup that should at least be mentioned. The 90th minute of a 1990 movie.
I completely agree. I think just for record-keeping purposes, we should blame that one on me. I'll take that one.
Okay, I'll let you. I'll follow on the next sword. How about that? You get me this time. I'll take the next one.
Yeah, fair enough. So this is my fault, mostly because I didn't have the release date in my mind. Like I knew it was released in 90, but if I had known the full release date, I think it would have been more clearly cemented in my pathways of thinking about what to consider for each episode. Given that the release date was the 16th of November, this is kind of the second time this has happened because
we could have celebrated this on the 16th minute.
Or in its 16th year. I've had all this time to prepare and make up for it, and I clearly have done nothing.
Well, if you'd like us to turn the podcast over to you because you are better fans of the movie than we are, feel free to write us at newhost@verygmail.com. And if you have a convincing enough justification that you wouldn't make such a foolhardy lapse in judgment, we will turn over all of our details so you can have the Home Alone Minute to a good home, free to a good home.
I would also like to raise this as a reason to actively pursue a second season so that I can have a redemption arc.
Yeah, minute 92 is not getting away from us this time around.
Nay. And it means that folks are fully engaged for 92 episodes, just waiting.
Oh, here it comes. What are they going to do?
Is he going to drop the ball again?
We forget it again. I love the idea of doing a season 2, but we just start Home Alone over again. I would be really into that. It's like the Home Alone Minute Taylor's version. It's just us redoing it. It is you and me just reading transcripts. We don't have new ideas.
Yeah, because when you said it originally, I was like, oh, this time we go deeper.
We would, I think. Yeah, yeah.
You go, oh, I didn't quiz you on how many cop cars showed up.
Yeah, I do like the idea of us just re-recording them in order to get out of the shackles of our record deal. Kendrick was nice enough to come in and do his guest spot for free. That guy really gets it, you know?
He's always been on a good ally to to anyone. He's been a really good ally to Kevin because he is an ally to anyone who considers themselves a minor.
Hey, all right. Well, let's get into Harry and Marv and Kevin and Marley squabbling up.
Just to be sure, though, I clearly missed something on 90. Is there anything I missed up until that one? Let's say 1 through 89?
No, other than that, we've been absolutely perfect. We've missed no interesting fact or tidbit or observation. This has been a perfect podcast outside of us forgetting that last week we did minute 90 and failed to point out that this movie came out in 1990. Everything about this podcast, other than that, has been note perfect.
I appreciate you saying us. That thus begins the whitewashing. What happens in minute 91?
Jerod, I'm so glad you asked, like you do every week.
Did I ask the same way?
You switch it up a little bit. So we've got Kevin hanging by a hook, which the strength of this sweater is pretty impressive. But the Wet Bandits are reviewing all of the things they're going to do to Kevin and who should slowly make his way into the scene but old man Marley. And as Harry and Marv are just about to really start tearing into Kevin, whack, there's the snow shovel. Marv gets it. Harry turns around. He gets it. Marley, with impressive strength for an old man, lifts Kevin off the hook. Let's get you home. Kevin's at home. Through the window, he watches the cops show up and carry Harry and Marv outside. The police officer is pleased to share with the Wet Bandits that they know each and every house that they've hit because they turn the water on at all of them. And I believe that's where our minute ends.
Wow.
Hey, you come at the king.
You've done over 90 of these.
I made you do a few.
You've done over 70 of these.
That's true.
And not one has disappointed.
Most people shut it off at this point, and I would just like to remind them that we have plenty of engaging conversation about the minute after these stellar summaries. I know it can seem like it's just downhill from here, but we got more.
I don't mind it being an Easter egg. I don't mind us basically just being a trigger warning / spoiler companion for folks watching the film 1 minute at a time. I think that's quote unquote the normal way to listen along. You hear the summary, you watch the minute, you go to the next episode, hear the summary, watch the minute. Because our commentary is for the true fans.
We've talked a lot about recutting this movie to serve our own whims and hypotheses. But what really needs to happen is that we slow down the movie so each minute fits the length of this podcast episode. So by the end, you're watching a 50-hour-long movie. Kind
of one of those Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon situations where you start it and it just kind of lines up.
Yeah, if you start Home Alone on December 29th and slow it down to where each minute is the exact length of the episode of this podcast in which we talk about that minute, then the credits will end right as the clock strikes midnight. And that's how you can ring into your new year.
I like that.
Yeah, it's better than watching those Lord of the Rings movies, right?
Probably shorter too.
Oh, don't get me started on those. Not a fan. You know what movie I do like?
Do I guess?
Yeah.
How many guesses do I get?
1. Make it count.
I get so nervous when I only get one guess. Lord of the Rings.
That is how my 4-year-old answers questions. It's not this. What is it? This? No, I like Home Alone. And this is a great climactic moment. This is a good climax.
I agree. It's not what you think about when you think about the movie, but it also holds up quite well as a good climax, which I think is fairly rare.
Marley's coming in to save the day, and it is 100% earned. This isn't a Deus Ex Machina thing where like the hero gets saved out of nowhere by this random unexplained entity or something. God doesn't swoop down and just save Kevin. Like Marley's here for all the reasons that we've seen Marley in the movie already, and Kevin has earned Marley's intervention here. Marley shows up because Kevin has grown with him. That church scene, which went on and on and on for quite a few episodes, turns out we needed that because here's Marley.
In a segment I will call Member No Member, I'd like to point out something that I have noticed previously and something that I don't know if I remember.
I'm happy to share mine too.
I feel like it was a fairly early memory being able to notice that Marley has a stunt double in this minute.
Yeah.
And the thing that I noticed many, many years ago was his hair. Like the way that it kind of moved just seemed very different than the type of comb over that actual Marley has.
Yeah, it's a bad wig. I think Chris Columbus in the commentary points out that this is a very, very young person. Like this stunt double's like some kid in his 20s or something.
I will say I did try to find out who exactly it is, but only got it narrowed down to a couple of names, or rather a few names from the stunts collection, and noticed just how badly a lot of the AIs are hallucinating around this very question. But yeah, I could not get it down to a specific stunt performer, but there are really only 4 or 5 to choose from, because we know Troy and Leon are in this scene being someone else, and we know Larry is the Kevin, so only a couple of the other guys. But either way, that was something that I did not need a minute by minute to pick up on. It was really obvious. And I don't know if it is a wig even. Or if it's like, silver colored hair on a young person, or its color, whatever it is, it moves and he's shaped so differently.
He's shaped differently. Yes. He moves like a young man.
Yes.
With these shovel whacks, which is, I don't know. It's when I was rewatching it, like noticing, like knowing that this is a stunt double, and then thinking like Roberts Blossom like couldn't swing a shovel, and maybe it's like he's got to hit the stunt double the right way, and that's what they need a stunt double to do, is to hit the other guy the correct way or something. But it seems like old Roberts could have given it a whack. Maybe they tried. But later, when he like picks up Kevin and carries him out, that seems harder to do than swing a shovel.
I don't think it's about difficulty. I think it's about potential liability. If he drops Kevin when he's trying to pull him off the hook, or like when he's walking with him, Kevin will land probably on his feet. He'll be fine. If you hit a stunt guy just the right angle, just the right nerve, you slip and fall while you're trying to hit him. Yeah. You cut some sort of nerve or vein.
Yeah. Could just be an insurance
When I think about
thing, right?
liability.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also want to give a little bit more credit to the stunt folks. There is a way that they do things and a shared language between them when they're trying to choreograph these things and they're trying to coordinate a scene. If I'm a stunt coordinator, because think about the person who's sort of off, maybe standing in like video world with Chris or something, and they're saying, here's what I'm saying, here's this. A stunt coordinator might have some language that he uses with a stunt person to very quickly get them to change or adjust or to do things a different way to get it captured. Whereas if he's trying to direct someone who doesn't understand that, I can imagine that being a lot more difficult.
Here's what I noticed. Here's my observation of the rewatch. Pretty early in this minute, we get that shot of Marley's boots entering the scene. We see his feet first, right? And we know who it is as the audience because we've seen these boots before. This is a refrain.
Right.
It's a repeat from when he walks into the drugstore when Kevin's buying a toothbrush and Marley comes in. But at this point, it's a good thing. So to have like that same kind of moment of like these creepy rubber boots come through a door, but for us to be like a moment of rejoicing, it's just so good. I love it.
Well, and it's still a dark, ominous lead up for the Wet Bandits.
Yes, it's
like it is
dramatic
good for us.
Yeah.
But for them, it is the same feeling that Kevin has in the drugstore. They just don't know it yet.
When we saw this movie And we have seen this movie in theaters together quite a few times now. But in Minneapolis, how like exultant the audience was at this moment. We all knew it was happening. But people are still like just cheering. I don't know. It was a lovely moment of movie magic. Watching a movie, that's always a fun context, as watching a movie with hundreds of other people, thousands of other people who also already love it. They're not loving it like seeing it for the first time with you. They've all seen it many times and they all already love it. That was a fun moment.
Now, if I can, I will give you the no member side of the member, no member.
Okay.
Which is what I don't know if I recall. When Marley picks him up and is like, come on, let's get you home. As he's carrying him, Kevin is looking back on the carnage.
I love it. Yes.
And I don't know if I remember this or not, but he goes, whoa.
Yeah. I clock that whoa every time. So I'm glad you're coming around to it. Just him sort of taking in the aftermath of these two burglars passed out. Whoa. It's great.
I think I'm just, for some reason, my eyes, my ears, my everything just sort of tuned into, come on, let's get you home. And maybe I'm like just overthinking the fact that it's ADR or whatever it is. And I'm just like stuck on that until the next scene, that like, I just don't register anything else that's happening. But on this watch, I definitely got the, whoa.
Well, it's a similar expression that he has in the window too, when he's watching the cops drag him out, and he's just like,
wow, this is great.
Can I share with you a little piece of the screenplay that I just adore? And I'm kind of, Jerod, this is maybe the first time that I've read something in the screenplay that I'm like, we should have kept that. I think I shared.
That's big because you, far more than me, are a bit of a purist with
the film is the film and it's perfect,
yeah.
And this is why it's perfect. But I think I shared last week that all of the threats that Harry and Marv recite to Kevin and like the slow buildup of Marley coming in, it's not in the screenplay. Like they grab him and then out of nowhere, the shovel comes in. So we miss that tension. And then Kevin looks up. Here it is. Marley steps out of the shadows to reveal himself to Kevin. And Marley says, a little trick I learned in South Bend. And he winks. And I think that is so good. And I'm so sad it's not in the movie. To give him like a little like action star one-liner like that, I think we kind of missed out. We got, come on, let's get you home, instead of a little trick I learned in South Bend.
If this were directed by James Cameron, there's no way that line would have ended up on the cutting room floor.
Man, if they shot that, if there's a clip out there of Marley saying that, I would love to see it.
What are the odds of that? I would guess it's not likely, right?
I would assume it would be in that batch of deleted scenes that are floating around.
Maybe I misunderstand the states that these scripts and things are in, but it seems like that screenplay that you have is not a shooting script.
No, it seems, it's some version of it. It has some things that like are omitted. So it has like numbered scenes. So that does suggest that it's like in some sort of level of production, because you don't number your scenes until you start like breaking down, like sending it to different departments and stuff like that. And you don't say that things have been omitted if they were just cut out, of a draft. So this is like pretty, this is into the production at some point, but how far, I don't know.
I think I was conflating that full version existing because it needs like a different setup and different angles and different shots and different whatever. So I don't think that, let's say, version was maybe shot. But him just trading out that line for the one that he says and maybe taking a little bit longer in that one shot. Where do deleted scenes live? Is there a warehouse we could be breaking into right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we have access to are it's like on the DVDs and floating around YouTube and stuff. I'd love to see that. What a great line. A little trick I learned in South Bend. I bet you could deliver it better. You give it a shot. It's a little trick
I
learned in South Bend.
I wouldn't dare.
Go ahead, embody Old Man Marley, but action star Old Man Marley. You just took out two bad guys. You feel young again. You feel alive.
It's gruff. It's aged. There's a little bit of wisdom there, but there's like
you're
some
a tough guy.
reinvigoration.
Yeah, like it's at least 10% Rambo, Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like it's
a trick I picked up in South Bend.
It's fun, right?
More than I anticipated.
You're acknowledging the rumors. You're maybe suggesting that maybe you did kill a lot of people.
I just like that when he does like a wink and he goes, ba-da, ba, ba-da, ba. I know we missed the golden episode versary, but in a similar vein, the 10-year anniversary of this minute was actually celebrated by the band Lifehouse, who, inspired by this scene where Kevin's hanging on the door, wrote the song Hanging by a Moment.
Is that right?
No.
Little trivia. Little untrue trivia. I believe this is
to the tune of pop-up video. Untrue trivia.
I like the idea of pop-up video, but we just make up stuff. It's just AI slop, hallucinated tidbits. That would be a lot of fun. Troy
was the stunt double for Joe Pesci and Roberts Blossom in this scene.
He has a twin whose name is also Troy. This is, I think, one of the famous bits of trivia about this movie is that apparently in this scene, or rehearsing for it at least, is when Joe Pesci actually bit Macaulay Culkin.
Lore, I would say. It qualifies as lore.
This is, as the kids would say, it's some lore. And Macaulay claims to still have a little scar, a little artifact of Joe Pesci actually biting him so hard that it left a mark that endures to this day.
Which is interesting because we don't see that.
He does say that it was during the rehearsal, not during like the actual shot. Yeah, you're right. Like this shot, there's no biting. It may be because Joe Pesci was admonished for biting the star of the movie.
Well, and we see in this minute him being very careful and opening his mouth super wide. And when you see the shovel come in, you see his hand fully out of the mouth and like him just sort of holding it in anticipation of being hit with a shovel. So like we're seeing almost some really good evidence supporting the fact that there was some biting beforehand because of how cautious everyone seems to be.
Part of me just doesn't believe it. Or here I go, not believing a victim. But did he really bite you that hard? Is there really still a scar there? Mac, I'd love to see it. Release the picture. Release the scarred finger photos, please.
It would be a lot more believable if it was part of the rehearsal with the shovel. It was like him
he
coming off of the hand and like sort of sliding down or flipping around or something.
I would accept that. But, I don't believe we went to the moon. I don't believe that fluoride is good for me. And I don't believe that Joe Pesci actually bit Macaulay Culkin that hard.
Two truths and a lie.